I want to thank you for being here with us for this weekend devotional. I began looking, and when I began to look for a thought on a devotional, I turned to Romans, the 13th chapter. And probably one of the most difficult passages around sometimes for us to follow, for us to listen to. And we live in a society, we live in a government that has gone against a great deal or a great many of the things that we see as our freedoms, as what is good for the country. As we look at them, we question all of these things. And when Paul speaks, he's speaking to the Christians, those who belong to Christ, those who have been reconnected with God Himself. The things that we live by, the things that we do, the things that we enjoy, we often feel like they are God given, and they are, in great many ways, they are. They're given to us in a free country. We have things that have been bestowed upon us that are far beyond what many other places have. And if you were a Roman citizen in Rome, you were in a pretty decent situation. But if you were a Christian in Rome, things become very difficult for you. Things become very, very uh, dangerous for you. But I want us to listen to what he says. We have 7 verses in the beginning of Romans, the 13th chapter. And we often have difficulty because Jesus did not take a stance in earthly politics. He took a stance in belonging to God. And it's what he sees for us is what God or what the Christ delivers to us. That we are saved through the blood of Christ. And that our work, our time is in God, and our home is in heaven as we walk on earth as exiles. In Romans 13, verse 1, he says, "Let every person be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from God, and those that exist have been instituted by God. Therefore, whoever resists the authorities resists God, they resist what God has appointed, and those who resist will incur judgment. For rulers are not a terror to good conduct, but to bad. Would you have no fear of the one who is in authority? Then do what is good. Do what is right." He's saying, do what is good in the sight of God. Do what is good. Live a godly life. Serve others. Care for others. Teach others. There's a point where we might find ourselves persecuted for that. He says, then do what is good, and you will receive his approval, for he is God's servant for your good. But if you do wrong, be afraid, for he does not bear the sword in vain. For he is a servant of God, an avenger who carries out God's wrath on the wrongdoers. Therefore, one must be in subjection, not only to avoid God's wrath, but also for the sake of conscience. For because of this, you also pay taxes, for the authorities are ministers of God, attending to this very thing. Pay to all what is owed to them. Taxes to whom taxes are owed, revenue to whom revenue is owed, respect to whom respect is owed, honor to whom honor is owed. Then he goes into verse 8, which becomes very difficult because we look at this situation and we think that he's asking us to look and to respect and to honor the government we have laid in front of us, and he is. Doesn't mean we can't vote them out. We have those legalities that we can follow. But I want us to understand that he says, let every person be subject to the governing authorities. They're there where there's no authority except from God. You remember, he let Babylon take Jerusalem because they had found themselves in such evil situations. They put themselves there. We had to look and realize that we put ourselves in the situation we're in by not paying attention, by not being willing to listen and know what was going on. So he has this idea or this thought that you're there. The governing authorities are his. And when the Israelites had spent their time with Babylon, he sent the Medes and the Persians to conquer Babylon because of what they'd done to Israel. But see, he used those governments to steer his people aright. I want us to listen to what he tells us to do in verse 8. He said, "Owe no one anything except love each other. For the one who loves, another has fulfilled the law and has fulfilled the law of God. For the commandments, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not murder, you shall not steal, you shall not covet, and any other commandment are summed up in this word, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Love does no wrong to a neighbor, therefore love is the fulfilling of the law." We live in difficult times. They may become more difficult. But that's not up to me to decide or know. But he's telling us something here in Romans or he says something here in Romans that can apply to us. It can work for us. He said, "Owe no one anything except love." Owe no one anything except love. That means to give love to all men. To all men. That means to be willing to teach others or show others who this God is, who this Christ is that we have put our faith in. It's so difficult for us to understand that God wants us to walk in a specific manner, seeking to do His will. This idea of being sojourners in a land, we're just here. We belong to God. We have an eternal home. And He said, you're here seeking to live as God would have you to live, to show others who He is. That means to treat those who are in rule with respect, with care, with honor. Genuine respect, care, and honor. Knowing that your real king is God and that He will provide for you until we reach that home in heaven, whatever it might be. Even if we have to face the persecution and death, He says, owe no one anything except love. I hope that you will take these things into consideration this week, this year, as you go about your duties and your work. And remember what God has said about the authorities, how we should treat them, how we should respect them. There's a difference between our law and God's law. Our law says we have the right to vote them out. That's great. But as long as they're in that authority, God says take care of them. Treat them with respect. Treat them with honor. Owe no man anything but love. Thank you for being here with us today, and may God bless.